What's up, PokeTube? It is Market Monday, episode 2. Let's talk about the biggest movers in singles given to us by Corbin Hosler of TCG Player, where you can find the article. Let's go through it here. First up is a Mewtwo Cosmos Holo promo out of Sword and Shield. This looks like Astral Radiance, maybe. Not up to date on all of the logos, but this was available in the Mew V box that released exclusively at Best Buy in 2022, and it's actually been slowly climbing for almost half a year at a steady clip. It did so slowly enough that it avoided making many waves in this column or elsewhere, but the fact is you could gather any number of copies for under $10 at the beginning of 2025. But it started an earnest climb back in July that really began to pick up steam a few months later. By October, Mewtwo had climbed to $25 to $30, and copies continued to move at that price. The supply began to run perilously low at the end of November, and by the beginning of this month, the only copies of Mewtwo left listed were either $50 or $100, and then they all sold. Alright, next up, this one's really up my alley. Rayquaza EX from a 206 collector's tin. This one is a Black Star promo. Yeah, this is super cool. This is really, really cool. Looking back at the price history, there's a massive difference. Moderately and heavy played copies have sold in the 40 to 70 range, while a small handful of near mint sales have been at or above $200. Wow. And yeah, earlier in the year they were right above 100. Yeah, started at $90 for near mint and climbed to $160 by September. And it says the market price is $268, but there are no near mint copies listed. Lightly played are listed in the $250 to $300 range. That's crazy. Whew. And we got another promo. We got an XY. Third, here's the XY era Black Star promo. Umbreon. Everyone's favorite evolution, at least when it comes to the TCG secondary market. But this promo printing came from a 2016 3-pack blister. Let's see here. The Pokemon market, slowly but surely, is pushing the prices of products with limited releases. Umbreon began the year at $30, but today checks in at $84. Market price up another $10 in the last week, with a few recent near mint sales north of 100. I don't see those, but this is also a deceiving interface, so I'm not too worried about it anymore. And next up we got Charizard VMAX, this Rainbow Rare out of Champions Path, Secret Rare. Let's see, this one hasn't gone up too much. Champions Path released in September 2020, making it a peak pandemic set, kind of existential black hole in the Pokemon TCG market's history. In other words, a mix of hard to fill demand and supply constraints has led to some extremely expensive Pokemon cards. Charizard VMAX Secret qualifies as that in today's market, with the market price this week climbing from $168 to $182. Okay, yeah. A big gain for one of two cards from Champion's Path worth more than $15. So the other one is Charizard. There we go, this one. Okay. That printing made a leap of its own back in October from $225 to $275. Since then it's been flat. The next card is the Gardevoir VMAX Secret Rainbow, and what's that one listed? $15. Wow, that's crazy. That doesn't even make any sense to me. Anyways, Alright, so those are the winners. Now we've got some losers here. Well, not really losers, but just the newer printed cards. I mean, what can you expect? As there's so many people have been opening up Destined Rivals over the last months since release, and naturally the value of the chases is going down. This is Cynthia's Garchomp. Acceleration of a slide that began after it topped out at 320 back in October. Since then it's been steadily descending, dropping down to 250 about a month ago, and falling even further since. Yeah, it's down under 200 now. For the first time since the post-release low. Okay, so I see. So yeah, we're basically back down to that low. Makes sense, you know. Some of the older, more out-of-print promos. This seems like a healthier market than it's been, to be honest. And then newer stuff that's, you know, in print should be going down. So that's good. Next up we got Mega Charizard X. This is the SIR from Phantasmal Flames. Dropping down to near 500 for the first time. Yeah, it's insane to talk about it's going down to 500. But it's definitely healthy. It shouldn't. There's no way. There's no reason cards should be that expensive on release. That's crazy. Oh, this 151 Blastoise is down? You gotta be kidding me. I love that card. And it says it's down to $72. Interesting. That surprises me more since 151 was released so much longer ago. But anyways, the Mega Charizard, and also that's Mitsuhiro Arita artwork. One of his best in my opinion. I really love that one. And the Charizard is actually up to 250 from 225. Wow. Anyways, next notable is Mega Latias. Similar story as the last couple. Came out of the gates in September at 175 and predictably just kind of slid down, dropping from 102 to 94 last week. So, yep, that's all we've got here for this article. I want to take a look at Destined Rivals. I want to check in on Destined Rivals booster boxes before we check out here on Market Monday. Just because this is one of the hypest sets right now. Most hype sets, I guess. And just seems sort of stable at 400. Wow. Pretty cool, pretty wild stuff. High demand for Pokemon product right now. Let's check out Mega Evolution. Enhanced booster boxes. Selling 72 at 230-ish over the last few days. And Phantasmal. Below Mega Evolution base already 171 sold over the last few days at 223. So I mean just below. Mega Evolutions base. Maybe predictably so, being it's such a small set. There's only one Mega Ultra Chase, the Gold Mega Charizard X, whereas Mega Evolution you have two, the Lucario and the Gardevoir. So just a case of maybe more pulls and making more pulls, making the pulls more rare. And kind of what my hunch was with this one was once everybody pulls everything they want, gets all the cards they need from this, there's just more demand off the set, and then that's what leads to price fall. So I'm not surprised about this. Kind of hoping people forget about this set and just go crazy for Ascended Heroes, and hopefully in the summer of 26 there's going to be 2-3 more sets out, and this stuff will be available maybe back at 2023 levels, right? Like $100 a booster box. Can we do it? Anyways, that's all I got. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.